Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning, viewers. We're coming for you live at the Center, the remote edition for half of us.
For half of us, all of us that are
Yeah.
here. I'm
So at the not so center.
At the not so center. Well, how are you doing? How are you doing this morning?
I already shared with you, but we can share with everybody else. I'm in physical therapy right now, and I had that last night, and she whooped my butt. So I am sore today. So I have to either be laying vertically or standing, which is why I'm not in the office today. But yeah, I'm standing. So that is something to be grateful for on this St. Patrick's Day. You can't see it, but I'm wearing green pants.
This is my green.
I see that you're wearing. There you go. Love it.
You know, it's funny. So I mean, we have to talk about it. Everything is political or something, right? But
I love that.
Here we sit in the state of Ohio. It is St. Patty's Day, and we still do not have an election map mapped out yet for us here in the state.
We don't.
So I don't know what's going on there. So my vote responsibly shirt can't really have people voting responsibly here in a couple of weeks because we still don't know what and who they'll be voting for and how that's going to map out across our fine state. So
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, we hope.
We hope. I believe they'll be held in some sort of contempt of court, or I mean something, right? Like politicians even care when they break the laws these days. But they'll be in some kind of trouble technically for not having had this established in time. So we'll see what happens there. As we push for that. But
so how are you? You asked me how I was.
I'm good. You know, good. I mean, life is okay, but things are busy as they are. You know, I've been on the road just a little bit. I tried to take a week off with the family at the beginning of March. I'm not really good at vacation. I know the team here kept probably telling me, stop emailing. Why are you having meetings? You're on vacation. Relax, because the next couple months are going to be crazy. That hasn't fully happened yet. I haven't really disconnected, but it was good to get away with the family for a little while. And then I spent some time down at South by Southwest last weekend, which was a phenomenal experience for me to go there and in Texas, where we've got some of the worst legislation in relation to trans youth right now. Yeah. And it was great for me to be in Texas and be there proud and loud in Texas and wear some wonderful Ali Awake garments and show my true self, but also to be able to at South by Southwest have a conversation about intersectionality and why Black and brown folks and queer folks are so critical in the venture capital space, in the entrepreneurial space. You know, for so long, our identities have been underserviced and underseen in startup and venture ecosystems, and so being able to go there authentically was great and wonderful, and adding a little spice in Texas. I like to say we say we did mess with Texas, which is a wonderful opportunity. We definitely did mess with Texas, and quite actually continuing with the story of sort of the political upheaval that's happening and fight for our rights, our queer rights, LGBTQ rights that continue. You know, when I was down for that week at the beginning of the month, we were down in Florida, and I definitely said gay. I said gay quite a lot. You know, I walked around.
Screamed it.
I did actually from the balcony of the room. I did. They probably thought what was going on, you know. But it was. But I was definitely very gay in Florida with my family, with my partner and our child. And I think, you know, I think what the most important thing is for us right now is to be able to be as loud and proud as we can. Those who feel comfortable doing so, those who feel safe doing so, because the attacks on our community are rampant. We believe that people thought they got complacent as we got marriage equality, as we got, you know, some protections under the law a couple of years ago in employment rights, but we are far away from equality within our community, which is why, you know, our organization Stonewall is so important. You know, being able to represent, to uplift those voices within our community who are most in need, being able to make space for those voices within our community who are most in need, and being able to be strong supporters of all of our community members. You know, we say that our opportunity here is to uplift and make sure that people are seen and thriving. well, we will uplift and do that as much as we can, if not only here in our state but across the country as well.
Yeah.
And we have to believe that politically, with this legislation that we're seeing, we may sometimes see that similar thing pop up here in Ohio. And so if we aren't seen, if we aren't out living loud and proud, people will think it's okay for such disgusting legislation to be supported. While we're living our regular lives, we are also doing our work.
Agreed. And I think that is reflected a lot in what the center has had in terms of programming over the past month. I think that we kicked off the month with our collaboration with the Lesbians Benefiting the Arts show, the Transitions, the Art of Transition show and art sale in our gallery space. That was fantastic to be able to pop down there on Friday the 25th for that kind of soft opening and just see that space filled with such beautiful pieces of art that were reflective of so many different intersectional identities, as well as just physically having so many creative artists in the space. That was energizing for sure. I think we also have had some opportunities with other points of collaboration throughout this week. This past Tuesday, we had the latest edition of our patient empowerment series with Equitas Health Institutes. This time, we were continuing our conversation of the nuanced experiences of Black women living with HIV. We were so lucky to have that event moderated by Dr. Olivia Nathan, one of the outreach pharmacists out of King Lincoln, who's been doing phenomenal work, specifically with the intersections of folks of color, Black communities, and the impact that HIV is still having on those folks. But more nuanced in that we are not focusing on the negative impacts, but looking at this was an event to talk about self-care and how do we find ways to thrive regardless of our status of HIV. So very, very excited and lucky that that opportunity happened and that point of collaboration. We're so excited to be able to move forward with more of those.
Yeah, and I actually was really excited to see that. My mother passed away from HIV/AIDS many years ago when I was younger, and I think and she, a straight cis woman, but I think what we have easily become complacent within this space is to not talk about HIV/AIDS anymore as it relates to cisgendered folks in the cisgender female, particularly in our world. So it's important for us to uplift those voices to have them be able to tell their own stories in their own space. But it's been exciting to sort of see that diversity of programming in partnership with Equitas Health Institute. So I'm looking forward to see some more of that programming coming forward.
I'm really excited. We just got a touch base. Right before this event, we just had a touch base meeting. Right before this call, we just had a touch base to kind of recap Tuesday's event, but also looking forward to some more moments of collaboration that we're going to be having. So some upcoming themes that we're going to be looking at with the Patient Empowerment Series is looking at how fat phobia within the medical community and specifically the nuanced experience of queer folks experiencing fat phobia within medical settings. And I'm really excited to be the moderator for that panel. So looking forward to that opportunity. We're also looking forward to some more opportunities to talk about so many different intersectional identities within healthcare and how the essence of this program is to not only uplift and bring awareness, but also to share resources so that if someone can say, this is what my experience has been within medical settings, and here are some best practices, or maybe not something as formal as best practices, but more of here are some tools that have helped me. So whether that is bringing in an advocate with you to these health appointments, or I'm giving away too much, so you'll have to tune in and find out what those resources are. Some other topics that we're hoping to have in the future is looking at harm reduction when it comes to intravenous drug use. So looking at different ways that we can approach and think differently about addiction as a disorder instead of as a choice. So really excited to have that conversation as well. So really excited for how that program and that point of collaboration is growing and changing, and really excited to see that we are not just stopping after a few, we are continuing in our second year of this collaborative series. So really excited about that. Next week, we have quite a bit going on that I'm really, really excited about. We are bringing back our financial education series collaboration with First Commonwealth Bank. We're going to be having a conversation on Tuesday about the, I'm really excited about the name of this one. It's NFTs WTF. So we're going to be looking at just some information about NFTs. That word has been popping, well, less of a word, more of an acronym, is all around the zeitgeist, along with words like Bitcoin and crypto. And so we're going to be taking a moment just to disseminate some information. And we're trying to do this in a way where we are not putting our personal biases in it. We're looking at, here is what the information is. Let's look at this through a lens of, here are the facts. And sometimes when there are newer topics, sometimes when we're looking at fact checking, we look toward things like research or things that are coming out of either financial institutions in this case or higher education. There's not a lot of that research right now about crypto and about NFTs. So we are presenting this information with a lot of caveats of like, here's what we could find. Again, this is not based in the quote unquote facts like we normally do in terms of like hard research, but we're going to do our best to kind of break it down so that we can all be a little bit more familiar about what these concepts are. So again, doing our best to keep our biases out of that conversation, but we will see. Next Wednesday, we have a fantastic moment for a topic that could be touchy for some folks, but again, trying to make sure that we are presenting things without sensationalizing or without having a sense of shame around topics like erectile dysfunction. So we are having a workshop, a LGBTQ health seminar, specifically talking about erectile dysfunction with our friends at Boston Scientific. So that is going to be led by Dr. Chris McClung. So that is going to be happening in the center next Wednesday. Folks can look at our events calendar and sign up for that. Please pre-register, even if you can't come in person. We're also going to be running that as a hybrid. So if you are not able to register to come in person, you can also join virtually. So we understand that this is a sensitive topic and we don't take it flippantly, but we also don't want it to be so serious because this is a real medical issue that people experience with so many different gender identities, as well as how it impacts so many different parts of our lives. So we understand that we just want to demystify this so that folks can feel more comfortable with what could be an uncomfortable health diagnosis. I'm trying to think of some more things that are coming. We have some more just like in general, just some collaboration and some shared energy. Stonewall Sports Columbus is going to be coming into our space for some of their pre-season meetings. So we're excited to have those folks in our space. Really excited for that opportunity now that the weather is getting warmer to where we can pivot to some outdoor sporting events. So we'll be able to uplift some of their work that they're doing as well. What else am I forgetting, Densil?
Brothers in Unity, do they have any upcoming
programs? Yes. They do. They are doing a paint and sip, a brunch and sip this upcoming Sunday, the 20th. So really excited about that. Dom Feather, I cannot remember his last name, but there is a fantastic individual that is working within Equitas who's going to be leading that activity on Sunday. So we're really excited about that opportunity. Are the Brothers in Unity in the center today?
I think they might be. I get my Thursdays confused, but that I feel like we see the group in the building quite regularly now, which is wonderful to see how we're being activated. But normally on Thursdays they are in meeting and also doing testing for the community. So people are in need of testing, they can stop by on Thursdays, and then their regular Sunday engagements with us. But yeah, it does feel like I'm seeing a lot more activity with folks around the building, which is a wonderful thing. And people should know, they can come on down and stop by and visit us
anytime.
Yeah, and it was I was sad this past weekend to miss our Black Trans Men of Ohio. They had a legal name change and legal clinic here just this past weekend, I think it was. So yeah, it seems like we are activating the center more and doing some really intersectional stuff. The pandemic put a damper on that for a little while, but reminding people that the space is there. We do have a lot of community space open and available for events and other activities as well.
Agreed. And I think it can't be illustrated better than looking at some of the more signature programs that we've been able to roll out. Is if you have an idea, if you're already meeting with some folks and it is LGBT centered and LGBT affirming and focused, if you're looking for space, we're happy to collaborate. So this past Saturday was one of the first handful of meetings that have taken place physically in the center with our queer sober writing group. And so that just stemmed from a community member reaching out and being like, hey, can we rent space? How much do you charge? And for that specific, we can have a conversation if folks are looking for their organization, or even if they're looking to host a birthday party, we can talk about rentals. But if it's coming down to a program and folks looking for some physical space to be able to provide a resource to our community, we want to work with you. So, and I know we've said it many times, but in case this is the first time that you're hearing it, we want to work with you. So if you need space for your meeting, whether that be sober focused or otherwise, we want to be able to help you find some space for you to have your meetings. So we're happy to partner.
I was smiling there for a moment because I love the joy that you talked about there, but your cat made an appearance and walked through the background. So I was smiling at the cat.
I know they are running around everywhere. There's not a lot. I'm not hoarding animals. I just have two. Just to clarify, don't call ASPCA. So I think something else that's really exciting that folks have noticed if they're looking at our website or our social media presence is that a lot of our registrations have opened up for the various moments of collaboration for Pride 2022. So I think this past week we've opened up registration for booth vendors, both commercial and nonprofits. We've also opened up registration for food vendors. What else am I missing? There's so many different moving pieces.
Yeah, no, and that's it's crazy. So yeah, we've opened up those primary registration pieces. Soon we've got volunteer registration open up here. If you're looking at higher level volunteer engagement, we'll also have volunteer registration open up pretty soon here for day of events, which we definitely will need to execute. But it is we're planning for an in-person return. I mean, we've seen here in Columbus the numbers have gone down, the mask regulations have been lifted, and we're still being cautious. We're still being responsible. We're still being secure about our health and that of others. As we are planning events in some enclosed spaces, we'll be encouraging people to be vaxxed and boosted if they can. And outdoor and in public spaces, that is fully up to you. But as we congregate in large gatherings, you may want to think about how you feel safe. I was just in South by Southwest. It was one of the largest gatherings since the pandemic has really quote unquote changed to an endemic, and it was wonderful to see people being responsible with their own health and that of others, wearing masks in appropriate spaces. So that'll be something we'll be seeing here. We will have our brunch this year. We shifted it and moved it from the Sunday after the March and Festival to the first Sunday of the month. So we're really excited about that opportunity to step into the month of brunch. It is a fundraising.
Agreed.
It's a fundraising brunch, and so I just I do acknowledge that it is a fundraising opportunity. All of Pride is really partly a fundraising opportunity. Pride is our largest program at the center. Pride is a program at the center, so it is bringing all these things together. And programmatically, it is the largest one, and it is also a fundraiser for the center. The more we have opportunity to engage with the community through this initiative, the more we're able to fund any programs that we can put on the other side. So so for me, it's an exciting moment. It's a wonderful moment to bring community together, but it's also a movement that is critical in relation to supporting the needs of the organization so that we can meet the needs of the community. You mentioned nonprofit registration being open as well, and I just want to make sure that hopefully we'll add this verbiage to the site. We are fundraising to see if we can cover nonprofit registration costs for LGBTQ nonprofits in the community. So if anyone out there wants to help us cover the registration fees for nonprofit organizations, LGBTQ nonprofit organizations, please definitely feel free to reach out to us at Stonewall. We've got a lot of wonderful sponsors who are helping sort of raise funds for the overall event. But if anyone is particularly interested in helping LGBTQ centered nonprofits cover costs, definitely let us know. But it is something I have to acknowledge. If we didn't acknowledge it, we would be doing ourselves a disservice. This is the first time for many of us within the organization planning all of these in-person events. And with a lot of transition. So, we always ask for patience and grace and maybe some offers of guidance and suggestion as we execute Pride events, Stonewall Pride events in support of the community. So, we are trying to do things differently, trying to be as responsive as we can, but it's new for all of us. And so, grace and space is always something that we can ask for and hopefully get a little bit of as we create something fun and exciting for the community. Hopefully soon will be publicly the theme for the coming event. I'm excited about it. I think it really blends the new essence of who we are working towards being, and really welcoming our community and our people back to not only Columbus but in partnership. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Agreed. I think that we have an opportunity to continue on with so many of the traditions that we've had here in Columbus when it comes to Pride, but also just thinking about things a little bit differently and using our position within the month of June, not just for it to be centralized into one weekend or one moment, but looking at how we are really trying within all of our actions to make sure that that's happening throughout the year. So I just think a lot of it isn't so much reinventing the wheel of who we are as Stonewall, it's just looking at things through a different lens, because we appreciate the 40-year foundation that we're standing on as new folks within these leadership positions, but we also recognize that we have our own flavor and our own spin and our own viewpoint with these things. So really excited that we are moving into this moment. So last year with 2021 with the virtual Pride, it was a lot of work and it was a lot of excitement and celebration. And I'm really excited to see that translated into the in-person moment as well. And I'm really excited that folks can find the most up-to-date information. They can look at our website. We are keeping that up to date. So any due dates in terms of registration deadlines, any links for all of that information can all be centralized within our website. So yes, we appreciate the DMs. We appreciate folks tagging us with questions, but just for the sake of transparency and for the sake of just efficiency, the best place to go for the most up-to-date information is going to be the Pride portion of our website. We're really lucky to be able to kind of centralize everything in that one location.
And we're a small team. There are 4.5 of us making a lot of things work. So, I think centralized communication is always the best way to get the most out to folks. So I appreciate that call out. And I think you said something that I think is critical to also acknowledge, right? We are stepping in. This is year 41 for us. And so we do have a wonderful legacy that has gotten us to this point, that has sort of set the stage and now allows us to really tell a different story, tell a story of where we hope to be, and the integrated ideas within this community is central to that story. So I'm looking forward to I don't know, all of these things and people coming together. It's pretty exciting.
Agreed. Yeah, so I think beyond Pride and checking onto our website for the most up-to-date information for that, folks can also head to our events calendar. So all of the programs that I mentioned earlier, those are going to be centrally found in the individual program pages, but oftentimes we want to uplift the work that other folks are doing in our community, like our partnership with Brothers in Unity and our partnership with Black Trans Men of Ohio, to where if you are looking for those types of resources, those types of events or programs, we try to make sure that we are using our events calendar on our website, not just to uplift what we're doing, but to uplift what is going to best serve our community. So if you're looking for LGBT focus or LGBT specific events, we are trying to make sure that folks know that they can add those to our events calendar to where it's a one-stop shop for our community. So again, all the programs that we talked about earlier, you can go to the events calendar on our website and there'll be registration links as well as some more information about times, locations, all of that.
Well, I think we're keeping it short and sweet today.
We are.
And I think we each respectively have to get back to the business of the business. Pride is coming soon, and our activities and events are keeping us on our toes, and so we want to make sure we're turning back to that. But once again, we want to invite the community into the building to come and visit us as things are opening up. We are in the process of opening and working through our cafe space, so we can have some options for gathering in community in our community. So if you want to take a peek at our cafe, feel free to stop on by. Our building is open from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. As long as someone's at the front desk, you are more than welcome to come on in and visit our community space on the ground level. So hopefully we'll see you here soon, and if not, maybe we'll see you at Pride.
Agreed. Yeah, and if someone's not at the front desk, ring the doorbell. Someone will run down. Give us a minute. It's a trek. It is a trek, but believe me, it's been so funny that all of us have our own little way of running downstairs as fast as we can. Some people jump down the stairs. Some people are just shuffling like myself. But again, stop by the center. You can just ring the doorbell. Someone will be there. And while you're checking out the new cafe, make sure that you check out the LBA, a show that is going to be running through April 2nd. They're going to have a closing reception on Saturday, April 2nd. So be sure that you come and check that out. There are a lot of great pieces, many of which have already sold. So you should have gotten here earlier if you wanted to buy some, but still an opportunity for you to check out the art. So we would love to see you in the center. And again, as Densil said, if not now, at least we want to see you at Pride. For sure.
Well,
Awkward
thanks for
pause.
spending a little time with us today. It's always good. It's
Yes,
always
please.
good. Zach, enjoy the rest of the day. Keep standing or laying, but
I have to. Stretching, laying, heating pad, all of it. Love being 30. It's so much fun.
I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. Happy birthday to me. No, I'm joking, not my birthday. But all right, thanks, Zach. It was good seeing you. We'll
You
see
too.
everyone.
Thanks,
See everyone
everyone.
next
Take
one.
care.
Ciao.